You were outside last weekend, hiking, gardening, sitting in the grass at a park. Maybe you walked through a wooded trail or sat near a bush. You probably did not think twice about it. Something may have found you. It would not have hurt. You would not have felt it land. It would not have made a sound. Something smaller than a sesame seed, designed by millions of years of evolution to be completely undetectable, may have attached itself to your skin before you ever got back to your car. And here is what makes this different from almost every other creature in this series. The tick does not just bite you and leave. It burrows its head into your skin, cements itself in place with a biological adhesive, and begins feeding on your blood slowly, sometimes for 3 to 5 days, while simultaneously transmitting whatever it is carrying directly into your bloodstream. Today, we are going through everything the tick does, from the moment it detects you to the attachment, to what it injects into your body, to the 3 diseases carried by 3 different species that most people cannot tell apart. One that mimics the flu, one that can make you permanently allergic to meat for the rest of your life, and one that can cause full body paralysis within hours. Over 13% of Americans now identify the tick as their single most feared pest, above cockroaches, above spiders, above bed bugs. And unlike those creatures, the tick's danger is not in your home. It is in your backyard, your local park, your hiking trail, and the grass outside your office. It has been there the entire time. You just did not know what it was doing while it waited for you. The tick is not an insect. This surprises most people. It is an arachnid, the same class as spiders and scorpions, with 8 legs in its adult form and a feeding mechanism that is unlike anything else in the natural world. There are over 900 species of ticks worldwide, but in North America, 3 species are responsible for almost all of the tick-borne illness that affects human health: the black-legged deer tick, the lone star tick, and the American dog tick. The tick does not jump, it does not fly, it does not fall from trees, a myth that has persisted for decades. It waits. This behavior is called questing. The tick climbs to the tip of a grass blade, a leaf edge, or a low branch, extends its front legs outward, and holds that position for hours, sometimes days, waiting for a warm-blooded animal to brush past close enough to grab onto. It detects you by sensing your body heat, your carbon dioxide, and chemicals in your sweat from distances of up to 18 inches. When it makes contact with your skin or clothing, it moves with purpose, deliberately seeking a warm, dark, protected site. The back of the knee, the groin, the armpit, the hairline, behind the ear. These are not random locations. These are the areas where your skin is thinnest, where blood vessels are closest to the surface, and where the tick is least likely to be noticed or dislodged during normal activity. The attachment itself takes approximately 10 to 30 minutes from first contact to full embedding. The tick cuts through the skin using barbed cutting tools, inserts a feeding tube called a hypostome, covered in backward-pointing barbs so it cannot be simply pulled out, and then secretes a cement-like substance that anchors it firmly in place. This is why improper tick removal, twisting, squeezing, or burning can leave the head embedded in the skin and dramatically increases infection risk. Now let's talk about what the tick is actually doing while it feeds, because this is the part where 3 different ticks diverge into 3 completely different threats, and where most people's understanding completely breaks down. The tick does not simply take blood. From the first moments of attachment, it begins injecting saliva. And that saliva is one of the most pharmacologically complex substances produced by any creature its size. Tick saliva contains an anesthetic, so you feel nothing at the bite site, anticoagulants to keep your blood flowing freely, immunosuppressants that partially disable your local immune response, so your body does not immediately detect the intrusion, and in some species, neurotoxins that affect your entire nervous system. All of this is being continuously injected throughout the feeding period. The longer the tick feeds, the more of these compounds enter your body, and the higher the risk of disease transmission. Disease transmission does not happen immediately. For Lyme disease, carried by the black-legged deer tick, research consistently shows that transmission risk is very low within the first 12 to 24 hours of attachment, rising significantly after 36 to 48 hours, and becoming almost certain after 72 hours of continuous feeding. This is why finding and removing a tick promptly within 24 hours is the single most effective prevention measure available. But Lyme disease is only one of three major threats, and arguably not the most shocking. The second threat is Rocky Mountain spotted fever, carried by the American dog tick, which causes high fever, severe headache, and a distinctive spotted rash. Untreated, it has a fatality rate of up to 30%, one of the highest of any tick-borne disease in North America. And it can kill within 8 days of symptom onset. And then there is the third threat, the one that most people have never heard of, the one that researchers themselves did not believe was real when they first encountered it. The Lone Star tick, identifiable by the single white spot on the female's back, carries something that no other creature in this series has carried. Something that can permanently alter your body chemistry with a single bite. Alpha-Gal syndrome. A bite from the Lone Star tick can trigger an immune response in your body to a sugar molecule called alpha-Gal, found in the meat and dairy products of most mammals, beef, pork, lamb. Once this sensitization occurs, your immune system begins treating these foods as threats. The result is an allergic reaction ranging from hives and digestive distress to life-threatening anaphylactic shock every time you consume red meat or dairy. And in most documented cases, this allergy does not go away. The CDC first formally recognized alpha-Gal syndrome as a significant public health concern in 2023. Since then, an estimated 500,000 Americans have been diagnosed, with researchers believing the true number is significantly higher due to widespread misdiagnosis. The geographic range of the Lone Star tick has been expanding northward for over a decade, driven by rising temperatures, and it is now documented in states where it was entirely absent 20 years ago. A single tick bite, a creature smaller than a sesame seed, permanently changing what you are able to eat for the rest of your life, potentially removing entire food groups from your diet without warning, without your consent, and without the possibility of a cure. No other creature in your backyard, your garden, or your home is capable of that specific, permanent, irreversible impact on your daily life. And most people walking through tall grass right now have never heard of it. There is a fourth threat that most tick education material barely mentions: tick paralysis. Certain species, including the American dog tick and the Rocky Mountain wood tick, can produce a neurotoxin in their saliva that interferes directly with the nervous system. The result is a progressive, ascending paralysis that begins in the legs and works upward through the body, typically within 2 to 7 days of attachment. If the tick is not found and removed, the paralysis can reach the muscles responsible for breathing. The most alarming aspect of tick paralysis is its misdiagnosis rate. Because it mimics Guillain-Barré syndrome and other neurological conditions, it is frequently missed by emergency physicians who are not actively looking for an embedded tick. In documented cases, patients have been treated for neurological disorders for days before a tick was discovered in the hairline or behind an ear. Removal of the tick results in full recovery in most cases within hours. The challenge is finding it first. The warning signs to know for all three major diseases are a bullseye-shaped rash at the bite site indicating Lyme disease, though this rash is absent in up to 30% of cases, fever, headache, and muscle pain within 2 to 14 days of a known or suspected tick bite, unexplained allergic reactions after eating red meat, and progressive weakness or difficulty walking that cannot be explained by other causes. Any of these following an outdoor activity in tick habitat warrants prompt medical evaluation. Here is the complete prevention checklist that works, the one that reduces your actual risk rather than just creating the feeling of safety. First, treat your outdoor clothing and gear with permethrin, a tick repellent that binds to fabric fibers and remains effective through multiple washes. Permethrin on clothing is significantly more effective than DEET on skin for tick prevention, particularly because ticks are often on clothing long before they reach skin. Second, perform a full-body tick check within 2 hours of returning from any outdoor activity, including your own backyard during summer months. Prioritize the hairline, behind both ears, under the arms, the groin, behind the knees, and between the toes. If you have children or pets, check them first. Third, shower within 2 hours of outdoor exposure. Studies show showering within 2 hours reduces Lyme disease risk by significantly reducing the chance of undetected ticks completing attachment. If you find an attached tick, use fine pointed tweezers placed as close to the skin surface as possible. Pull upward with steady, even pressure without twisting or jerking. Do not use petroleum jelly, nail polish, or heat. These cause the tick to regurgitate into the wound, increasing infection risk dramatically. Place the removed tick in a sealed bag and keep it. Some states offer tick testing services that can identify the species and whether it carried a pathogen, information that can be critical for your physician. The tick has been feeding on warm-blooded animals for over 90 million years. It survived the extinction event that killed the dinosaurs. It has adapted, expanded its range, and refined its stealth to a level where a full-grown adult can feed on a human for 3 days without being detected. It carries diseases that can change your life permanently. One bite, one summer afternoon. One moment of not checking, and everything about what you can eat, how your body functions, or whether you can walk without assistance can change. The outdoor world is not a dangerous place because of ticks. It is a place that requires 2 minutes of attention when you come back inside, a full body check, clothing in the dryer on high heat for 10 minutes, eyes on your children and your pets. That 2 minutes of attention is the entire difference between everything being fine and discovering 3 days later something that has been attached to the back of your knee since Saturday afternoon at the park. Have you ever found a tick on yourself or someone in your family and discovered too late what it might have been doing? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want to know about another creature that is already in your home right now doing something you have never been told about, the next video is waiting for you.